We're excited to feature our good friend, Kitty Campbell, on episode 26 of the Rusty and Jan Show.
That's right. This week's song is going to be about songwriting. We've kind of touched on the subject throughout the whole series, but we figured we'd just take some time and just focus on it.
We'll feature a song by Steve Cullett, one of the best songwriters that we know.
And we'll also update you on the upcoming events in our community calendar.
And no episode would be complete without hearing from George over at Melalani Cafe.
Of course not. What would anyone think about that? That's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So if you're ready, let's get started with
The Rusty and Jan Show.
When the world comes crashing down on us, they're always there, and they're always happy company because they care. Oh yes, they care. And when you need to take out pain, well, no one else will do. Dial the phone or go on Zoom. Thank God there are friends like you. I said, thank God there are friends like you.
Our song of the week is a surprise entry from our good friend Steve Cullett.
It tells the story of a conversation between two aliens who discuss the failure of the experiment that started the human race.
It is an example of great songwriting. This is called Org Said to Glog. Glog?
Yes, Glog.
Okay.
Org said the Glog, it's a dirty little planet. Its readings are way off the scales. Glog said to Org, I see what you mean, Org. Let's see what the computer unveils. Org said the Glog, the computer predicts mass destruction in 25 Earth years. Glog said to Org, and as we suspected, it only confirms our worst fears. Org said to Glog, the experiment is ending after such an incredibly long time. Glog said to Org, it seems such a shame. Sadly, this spells the end for mankind. Org said to Glog, where did we go wrong? Our other trials proceeded so well. Glog said to Org, yes, you are right, but mankind created its own hell. Org said to Glog, and what of the future? Must we abandon the planet forever? Glog said to Org, that's highly unlikely. Earth could support a future endeavor. A planet like Earth is too valuable to waste, and once man has been cleansed from the surface, another experiment would likely take place with controls better suiting our purpose. Never again can mankind be relied on. Obviously, the design was imperfect, and man shall go down as a minor mistake. I'm sure the council will agree with our verdict.
And now it's time for Going Out with Rusty and Jan. Welcome to Going Out with Rusty and Jan. We're excited to announce the upcoming guest for our show. On August the 2nd, we'll feature Richard Hopkinson. And then on August the 9th, we'll feature Ray Naylor. And on August 16th, we'll talk with Heidi Wilson.
Yeah, we just had a great visit with Richard at a wine bar yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had a lot of fun. Melilani Cafe is continuing to have indoor performances. As always, please remember to support both the artist and the cafe. Here are some of the upcoming shows. On Saturday, July 31st, it's that rockin' man, Eric Sullenberger. He'll take the stage from 2 to 5 p.m. Sunday, August 1st, will feature a co-bill with the Penny Lane Trio and Rusty and Jan. Oh my God, they got Rusty and Jan. Oh
Yeah,
my.
right? How'd they get those people?
Please contact Jan if you are interested in scheduling a show at Melilani.
Our weekly open mic is continuing to thrive. We'll continue to have our hybrid format until everyone is completely comfortable with performing inside. As usual, we'll have online signups every Wednesday at 5 p.m. on the Melilani Open Micers Facebook group page.
Here's information on this evening's upcoming festivals. Falcon Ridge will take place on Saturday, July 31st in Goshen, Connecticut. It's a hybrid festival, meaning you can attend the outdoor festivals or you can view them live stream. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit their website at www.falconridgefolk.com.
The Philadelphia Folk Festival will also be a hybrid event this year and will take place from August 21st through the 22nd. It'll feature live concerts at the Spring Mountain Ski Area, limited to a maximum of 1,000 audience members. Instead of in-person camping, PFS will once again offer virtual campsites. For more details, visit www.pfs.org.
Yeah, remember the lineup is there. The people that are performing, it's all at pfs.org. So you'll have an idea about how that's going to go. If you're going to do a virtual event, consider coming to Melilani. We're going to be doing something that weekend with the Folk Song Society, and we'll have a good time no matter what. So
That's
let's
right.
just figure it all out, and we'll do it this year and next year. We'll get together, and I'll give you a big sloppy kiss. I don't want to scare anybody away. X-Fest will take place in person at the Country Creek Winery on September 17th and 18th. Their volunteer registration page is now open at www.xfsmusic.org.
The Pops Trey Music Festival is continuing to take shape. As previously mentioned, it'll take place on September 25th from 10 to 4 and will coincide with the Tuckahoe Transportation Heritage Festival. They'll have a number of activities that day, including an excursion train, motor car rides, and display trains. We'll be in charge of providing the music for the event, and we're looking for other musicians to play sets throughout the day, so please contact us if you're interested. Wristbands can be purchased for $10 for adults and $5 for kids, and that'll give you access to all of the activities at the festival. If you're performing, the price of the wristband will be waived. Ooh, dun, dun, dun. And don't forget that we'll be filming footage for the video to go along with Rusty's song, Pop's Train. We would love for you to take part in the filming, so I hope you can come out and join us.
Toot toot. PFS Fall Fling will happen in person October 1st through the 3rd with a limited attendance over in Green Lane, Pennsylvania.
And now it's time to see what George is cooking up at Melilani Cafe this week. It's time for
George's Corner.
So as you can see, we still have Eric coming up this Saturday. And then next Sunday, we have Rusty and Jan and Penny Lane and an open mic. We got Ted Jordan coming up, Calvin and Co-op, Barry Bohr again. We got Jeanette and Steve coming up this month in August, Paul and Rob Lincoln. So definitely, plan your August accordingly. Thanks, bye.
And now it's time for Head to Head with Rusty and Jan.
As you may have seen throughout these episodes, there seems to be a common thread.
That being the songwriting process.
Everyone has their own method for coming up with a song.
Questions are asked like, when does a song idea begin? Do the lyrics come first? Or does the music? Or does it happen together?
The fact is that it's different for everyone, but there are some consistencies that we seem to be hearing across the episode. One thing we are consistently hearing is that it starts with a nagging thought in the back of the mind. This is usually a good time to grab paper and pencil and put something down.
But it might not ready to be born yet.
Yep.
Sometimes things like this need time to germinate.
Yeah, they bounce around in your head for a while, and it can be an uncomfortable influence that can only be satisfied by completing the task. This is the best time to write a song, when the angst is at its highest.
This is the most dangerous time not to write a song. Songwriters frequently have a file that represents ideas that never turn into songs. Songwriters usually agree that when you get to that point, you should sit down and write out the song and not stop until you are finished.
Sometimes songwriters say that it all came to them in a dream.
Hey, Rusty, didn't you have an experience like that once?
I've had all kinds of dreams. You have no idea. But yes, it did. It came to me in a dream one time. And we'll talk more about that later. I guess the best advice is just get started. You will be surprised at how easily your thoughts can become musical if you believe you can do it. Just try.
This week's guest has her own views on songwriting.
This is how our interview went with our very, very lovely good friend, Kitty Campbell.
Well, we're really honored this week to have one of folk music's greatest admirers and supporters. You'll see her at many people's performances. Sometimes she'll be even taking the cash at the door, or maybe she's just going to come out and hang and just be part of this wonderful community that we have. So if there's anybody who we like having as a representative of our community, it is
Kitty Campbell.
Hey, Kitty.
Hello.
How you doing today?
Very, very well, thanks.
Good.
Good. That's good. Are you nervous?
No, not really. I think I know you guys. You two do not scare me.
We don't bite.
No, I know you don't.
that was a never mind. Anyhow.
Anyway, so why don't you tell us about your musical beginnings? When did you start playing and writing, etc.?
Well, I luckily grew up in a family where people loved music. We sang in the car. My mother used to sing. They had groups of people that got together. They didn't call it Tuesdays or anything like that, but they just got together and sang. So if we went on vacation up in Michigan, we used to go up along Lake Michigan and have beach fires, which you can't have anymore. But we would sing around the beach, Good Night Irene and On Top of Old Smoky and stuff like that. So when I was a kid, I was really encouraged in music. Luckily, I was in the choir from when I was about first grade right through high school. I didn't start writing music until I got together with my ex that I lived with for about 20 years when I was about 30. I never thought of writing music at all. But he was a songwriter, and there was one song, and I said, I want to get in on this one. And he said, yeah. Why don't you? So we started writing songs together. And I've only written a few on my own, but I have to say I am a little, go ahead.
But that's changing, though. You've written one or two recently?
Not recently, no. I wish I had, but
okay.
I wanted to write something about COVID, but I just, it's hard, man.
It is.
I was used to writing with somebody else where I collaborated on the lyrics and I didn't do the music. So I've only written a couple on my own, both music and lyrics. And it's not hard. It's not easy, that's for sure.
Yeah, and COVID's a tough topic. There's so many different.
I know. You guys have written a really good parody about it, and a
Yeah,
lot of
well,
people.
we chose to to try to take somewhat of a humorous slant just because we had to make something light, you know.
Right. Yeah. But Dwayne and I used to write music together. He had a job teaching music lessons, and I had a job. I think I was selling storm windows or something, climate setting, and we used to every afternoon we'd get together and write songs, and somebody would just bring an idea and we'd start writing.
Yeah.
And it was a good way to do it, you know. And we'd go back to things we had started before. That's what I'm trying to do: go back to some of my old fragments and try to make them into songs.
You know,
Hopefully,
every year, I forget when they do it, the PASA Philadelphia Area Songwriters Alliance, they have this workshop weekend or something where it gets together and you team up with other people. And
That's a good idea.
Together. Yeah, it is a good idea. I think a lot of people like the process.
Yeah, there's also FALM. Have you ever heard of that?
I haven't heard of that one.
February album writing month, where the goal is to come out of February with 14 songs. But the thing is, it's a whole big group. It's a collective, and they give you ideas and tips, and they have workshops and things like that for writing songs. Different ideas.
We
Yeah.
should do a show on tools for songwriting. That would be good.
Oh, that's a good
I
idea.
think I see a theme brewing here.
I think you're right.
There you go.
Do you know any good songwriters?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a few.
I know a couple, yeah.
So who is it that was whispering music in your ear that inspired you?
Well, when I was growing up, a lot of influence by Peter, Paul, and Mary, Joan Baez. I have Joan Baez songbook, which I'm going back to get some of the ballads I used to do. I worked at camps, so I learned a lot of camp type songs, and I kind of learned to play guitar there. My best friend, when I was in about 13 or something, she got a really good guitar, and she gave me her old Stella, which was really hard to play, but I think it was trial by fire. And then my parents got me a good guitar when I was like 16. That was cool.
I hope you hung on to that Stella. You know, they're worth a lot of money now.
You know, I don't have the Stella anymore, but
that's a shame. Yeah,
tell you what, it's difficult to play.
Yeah, that was the original Sears catalog guitar. So.
Right.
I think one of our guests just recently talked about a Stella.
Yeah, actually, we were down in Ocean City, Maryland, and this guy right out in front by the counter, he had a Stella, and right next to that was a Les Paul. So,
Wow.
Museum.
But I was also influenced by Bob Dylan. My brother told me when I came home from college in 1970, I brought his first album home and gave it to him. I always used to get my brother's records because they loved music. And I would just say, here's $5 back then. You know, at Christmas, you could buy an album for $5. So here's your $5. Go get yourself what you want. But I gave him that, he told me, which I didn't even remember. But, you know.
Yeah, my first two albums were Jimi Hendrix and the Experience and Doors. Everybody had a Doors album.
My first one was Meet the Beatles, but
and
I remember getting a record player. That was really exciting, you know, one of those big things with the lame stuff on the front, gold lame. But it's new age.
It definitely is, yes.
So where do you find inspiration for songwriting?
I think just in everyday life. It's funny, when Dwayne and I used to write together, one time I came home and I just said, pretty colors. And that's all I said. And he said, that's good. We'll write a song. So we did. And I'm going to do that later.
I think I know that song you're talking about.
It just started it. So, you know, but I just think looking around yourself and seeing what's going on and being observant in general, not only nature, but just people, looking at what people do and how they act is pretty inspirational to me.
Yeah, it's I find that when I run into people who want to write songs, that they make it too complicated. They you know, it's just a simple thing of just kind of, for me, to just kind of let it out. But I think there's a fear of failure or things that go on with some people that they're just afraid it's not going to sound good, things like that.
Somebody once told me to just write about what you know and just just write it the way you say it, just like everyday speech or whatever you call it.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely agree. Sure.
Easier said than done, but
Well, it all starts when you put the pen down on paper.
it does help. Yeah, I'm just trying to go back to some of my ideas I wrote down. I have some songs that are almost written, but I can hardly remember how they went and stuff. But
Yeah, I know many people have a folder on their computer that
Right.
says ideas. Yeah.
Well, how about a song?
All right, sounds good. I'm going to do Till Tomorrow. This is the first song that I wrote on my own. And the first line is from Patsy Cline's journal. She was tragically killed in a plane accident. And it says, "We're always here together till tomorrow." And so it made me write this song. I had just split up from a relationship and had some deaths in the family. And now I kind of dedicate it to people that died of COVID. There's so many, and it's so sad. So hopefully this brings a little hope to people. We're always here together till tomorrow. Read that in a book I saw today. Such a fine line there is between joy and sorrow. Leaves me wondering what there is to say. I know you think the one you're loving will be there till the end of time, 'cause you always thought forever when you said, "I want you for mine." We're always here together till tomorrow. Read that in a book I saw today. Such a fine line there is between joy and sorrow. Leaves me wondering what there is to say. Well, you can sing it out till the sun ain't shining, waiting for a better day. Or you can shout about it to the moon above, thinking love will find a new way. We're always here together till tomorrow. Read that in a book I saw today. Such a fine line there is between joy and sorrow. Leaves me wondering what there is to say. And either way I feel about me and you, it's written in the book of love. It's something everybody's after, but it comes on wings of a dove. We're always here together till tomorrow. Read that in a book I saw today. Such a fine line there is between joy and sorrow. Leaves me wondering what there is to say. You can sing it out till the sun ain't shining, waiting for a better day. Or you can shout about it to the moon above, thinking love will find a new way. We're always here together till tomorrow. Read that in a book I saw today. Such a fine line there is between joy and sorrow. Leaves me wondering what there is to say. Leave me wondering what there is to say.
Yay! Kitty, did I ever tell you that's my favorite song of yours?
Yes, you have. I believe it.
Okay, I'll repeat it again. That's my favorite song of yours.
Well, of all the people in our community, you're the one that seems to be the world traveler. These last couple of years, you've been all over the place. Where you been? I thought we lost you for a while there.
And how do you feel it influences your music?
Yeah.
Well, a couple of years ago, I wanted to pay all my debt off before I retired. I wanted to retire at 70, which is a few years back. And I decided to do surveys, which I'd done through Temple for many years, except I did them locally. You just go to people's houses and interview them about whatever the subject is. Well, there's the CDC runs a survey about health and nutrition, which they are starting up again, I think, in July this month. And I signed up for a job where you just traveled all the time, because that way I decided I can store my stuff at my sister's house. I won't have to pay rent that year. And I did pay my debt off. And so that was great, because they traveled across the country, the whole way across the country every year back then. You drive the whole way across from east to west coast. So I got to stay in Yellowstone. I loved it. I worked in Michigan, Oregon, not too much on the East Coast with them, but and then my ex and I had traveled for many years. We lived out on the land quite a bit, and we loved it. I got to see places that I don't think that many people have seen that were out west, that were just kind of wild, crazy.
You're like Arizona for a while? Was that where you were?
Yeah, I was in Arizona, New Mexico, California quite a bit.
What a contrast.
How about outside of the country?
It made me realize that the country, it's so varied, you know?
Yeah.
And the way people think out west is a little different. Like Westerners, they're more direct than we are. Like I told my ex one time, you know, if you're from Philadelphia, or I'm from Lancaster, but if you're from the East, what you don't say is what's important sometimes. But if you're out west, you're talking about it straight out, and it's more direct, and it's just a different way of looking at things. That's one of the things I learned. And I think it's definitely influenced my singing and my songwriting.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to write about things that other people have written too, that about beautiful places, you know, John Denver, people like that, just because they captured it, you know.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to do some of that myself.
Places like Albuquerque.
Yeah, like Albuquerque, definitely.
Yeah.
How about outside of the country? Have you ever visited anywhere there?
Yeah, I was a French major in college, so I took my junior year abroad, and I went spent a year in France, and I traveled to Germany, Italy. My brother was in the Air Force. I went and visited him a couple times in Italy. That was great.
For you.
And I've been to England and Scotland. I went with my parents to Scotland to the island. We took a helicopter out to this island where my great-great-grandfather was born. He came to Lancaster. He came to New York with his friend from high school from the Orkney Islands, which is north of Scotland. You take this ferry across the very rough North Sea, and you go over to this little island where they have no cars. And I really felt a sense of home there that I never, because I heard stories about it from my grandmother, whose father had told her about it. All my life I heard that, and I just felt like I was home. It was amazing. And it was the last trip I took with my parents, so that was kind of special, you know. And the Italians, they love us. Oh my God.
The Italians love us?
They love us. We helped them out in World War II. We were pretty instrumental in saving some of them. It's kind of like, but they're just lovely people and fun, really fun. And I could understand a lot of Italian just from knowing French, because it's all Romance languages.
Right, I was just going to say.
Yeah, it took a lot of Latin.
Now, you said you were from Lancaster. Jan and I are going to be taking a trip out there in about a week or so. What do you think we should see when we get there?
Oh, you should definitely go to some of those smorgasbords if they're open.
That's what I want to do. That's what I keep saying.
They're fun. That's fun. And just like downtown Lancaster, there's a farmer's market that's really cool. It's called Central Market. There used to be 3 markets, but now there's just Central Market, which is right in the center of the heart of Lancaster. And that's just fun because it smells wonderful. You're smelling cheese and fresh meat and all kinds of vegetables. There's a lot to see in Lancaster, a lot of historic things. I'm sorry, I can't think of any. President Buchanan, one of our worst presidents, grew up in Lancaster, very close from where I grew up.
Oh, yeah.
And my mother used to give tours around his home. He was one of the worst presidents we had, unfortunately, but but he is from Lancaster, so he's our claim to fame.
Everyone tells me that I should see Intercourse.
It's just a little town, honestly.
It's not what it sounds like.
Not really.
Not really.
There's a nice gift shop there. My parents' friends used to run it, Jacob and Jane Zook. And they have all kinds of text signs and stuff like that.
She's slapping me on the knee. She wants me to get off this whole area. You know.
This is a family show, sweetheart.
There you go.
Exactly.
So what's next for you, Kitty? What are your goals?
I want to get back to
Thinking
songwriting,
otherwise.
which I've been kind of not too good at lately, or not active enough. That's all.
Yeah.
I haven't pushed myself hard enough. I just got a keyboard, so I play classical. I don't jam on it or anything, but I think that could help me write music because you can kind of sound it out that way too. And I just want to get back to writing again. It's been a long time since I've written something new, and I want to both bring back stuff I used to play that I enjoy playing and, relearn it, because I think you should memorize stuff before you sing it if you can. And I also want to get an iPad. Mine just is all cracked, so I have to get a new
It
one.
helps.
But put all the words there and all that, just to have
it
them
does.
for posterity.
I think especially in your case, because a lot of your music is old folk, Peter, Paul, and Mary, things like that. So you probably have quite a repertoire, but it's no good if you don't have it in front of you. You know what I mean?
I know, yeah. I need to be able to start singing it and stuff.
No, that's a good idea.
Absolutely. So why don't you play us another song?
It's called Never Have to Say Goodbye. Such a gentle, sentimental ecstasy. Here together and forever, you and me. And if we can have this moment, we can hold it forever, then we'll never have to say goodbye. Pretty colors of the rainbow in your eyes, tender moments, simple pleasures, subtle sighs. And if we can have this moment, we can hold it forever, then we'll never have to say goodbye. We'll never have to say goodbye, and we'll never have to ask the reason why. And if we can have this moment, we can hold it forever, then we'll never have to say goodbye. We'll never have to say goodbye. We'll never have to ask the reason why. And if we can have this moment, we can hold it forever, then we'll never have to say goodbye. And if we can have this moment, we can hold it forever, then we'll never have to say goodbye.
Very nice. That's the one you mentioned earlier in the interview, right? Where you said pretty colors and then it inspired a whole song?
Yep.
Yep.
One.
So before we let you go, if somebody wanted to hear more of your music, where would they find you?
Melalani Cafe.
Yeah, Malalani Cafe most Thursdays. I do go to an open circle that Art Myron runs. It used to be at the Mermaid, and now it's at the Unitarian Church, which will be in September. And sometimes I go to the Folk Factory. I don't really have a website about songs and all that, but
Folk Factory's been there for many years.
Yeah. Bruce, actually, they're going to Italy for 6 months, so I guess someone else.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, pretty soon. He's got a sabbatical.
Well, thank you for coming on our show, Kitty.
Yes, we really.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's an honor.
It's always our
You
pleasure.
guys run the best open mic, honestly. It's so much fun.
Oh, thank you.
So much.
And I like the fact that it's still virtual. I mean, I have a friend that said, well, I don't know if I could come there. And I said, well, you can do it virtually. You can sign up, and do it virtual. And
Right. I mean, there's limited spots, but sure, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's going to be the future for us. What the heck?
well, I think it's good to be able to have both. We can still have those people from Massachusetts because those guys are amazing.
Oh yeah, they're a lot of fun.
No.
So, what the heck? I won't have to travel. I'll barely have to leave my coffin.
God.
I mean, I still want to see you down at Malilani, but
Okay.
and the Mermaid eventually. I think they're reopened partly, so that would be fun to go there. You could see me there too. I usually go there.
Right.
Uh,
That's great.
So
Very good.
right.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
All right.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your
All
having
right.
me.
And we'll see you out there.
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Well, I hope we were able to kind of demystify the songwriting process.
For more information about this, we would encourage you to search for the Performing Songwriter with Ray Naylor. There you'll find tips and insights from many of your favorite local songwriters.
Oh, there's a lot of people up there, people you'd recognize, and they go through their process and what it's like and how they do it. And listen, I listened to a couple last week, and they're very fascinating. They really are. So anyhow, we'd like to close with a song that was gifted to me. I dreamed about it one night, and in the morning, I wrote it down. It's called
In a Dream Last Night.
It's a good name for it.
Funny how that works.
Really? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dreamt I had a gig last night. All of you were there. Got myself together, wore a suit, and brushed my hair. Felt a little nervous, worked so hard to get there. In a dream last night, in a dream. Entered in an old great room. The stage was filled with light. The audience filled, the seats complete, even balconies left and right. I thought about the struggle, but I had my slot that night. In a dream last night, in a dream last night. Someone came to get me as I gathered up my wits. I had 2 songs to play that night, as much as time permits. There had been some accident. My guitar was smashed to bits. In a dream last night, in a dream. Soon the word had spread that there might be an open slot. A young man tried to take it, 'cause he thought he was so hot. Then had the wannabes and coulds surrounded me to do what I could not. In a dream last night, in a dream. Then someone from the mob arose, a woman that I had known. She hadn't hit the big time yet, but she struggles on alone. She said, "Here, use my guitar. I've been waiting for you to go on." In a dream last night, in a dream. I woke this morning with some paper and a pen. I wrote about what I had learned about how to be a friend. The music doesn't matter, it's your goodness in the end. That's my dream tonight. Gonna do what's right, don't wanna moan or fight. Got a dream tonight.